End of July, start of August.
End of July, start of August.
Yeah.
You got there late.
Yeah, because my competition wasn't till the last week.
I remember because I was like, Tay's going to come up.
Opening ceremony?
Yeah, Tay's going to come up at any second now.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, where the fuck is she?
So many people were like, we didn't see you on the opening ceremony. We were looking for you.
I was so stressed out. I was like, oh no, is she gotten sick or something?
Well, no, like everyone was saying, I was like, I never said I was going to be there. I was like, oh, okay. So I like did my post. I was like, who saw me? It's like I wasn't there.
Were you a bit devo? You didn't make the opening?
No.
Was it everything you thought it was going to be?
I'm not into public much. I don't like being in public.
Yeah.
But no, from my experience from like Youth Olympic Games and like the Commonwealth Games of the opening ceremonies I had experienced at the Commonwealth Games, it takes hours to do everything and you don't get back till midnight either.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get there maybe at 3 or 4 or something, or like you have to get ready by 3 or 4 and it takes an hour to get there. You wait an hour, then you got an hour somewhere else, and then an hour to do the whole thing, and then you got to wait another couple hours, and it's like, nah, that doesn't seem appealing to me. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But I think I was in Japan at the time anyway, training, so I think I would have preferred to do that.
Well, so for everyone who doesn't know, Tayla finally achieved her goal of going to the Olympic Games representing New Zealand. First female wrestler ever?
Yeah, for the Olympics.
How does that sound? Does that ever get old?
No. I even find myself thinking about it and like just smiling because I'm just so proud of myself. And we're still waiting to see if I'm the first Māori to go as well.
Oh, really?
For wrestling, yeah.
Bloody, it was fucking wild seeing someone you know at the Olympic. I don't know, obviously for you it would have been crazy, but even just seeing someone that you know on the TV at the Olympic Games is like,
I know, it's pretty special though, like, because what made me really happy was like, you know, like I had a big flood of messages and stuff even before the announcement was made because of like qualifying and everything, and the big fucking cardboard thing. It wasn't cardboard, plastic thing I had to carry from Egypt all the way home. So obviously there were lots of photos of that, being a qualified athlete. All the messages I was getting from like old high school friends and like course friends that I'd done like a decade before. And I think what made me really happy was the fact that I gave a lot of people something to be proud of and to be happy for as well. Knowing someone that's gone to the pinnacle of every sport and achieving what I've achieved, and then being like, you know, I know her, I went to school with her. So I think that made me really happy.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing. Was it everything you thought? Was that everything you hoped it would be?
I didn't really know what to expect, and I didn't want to put anything in my head about like what I'd expect it to be like. Like I wasn't going to go in there arrogant. Like some people were expecting a lot of things and to be treated a certain way, but because where we're from and the whole Commonwealth nation thing and the Commonwealth Games, it was similar to the Commonwealth Games. The only difference was like the size of it was a lot bigger because of more countries, and like the activities, there were a lot more activities as well. And maybe there were activities at Commonwealth Games. I'm a bit of a hermit, so I stayed in my room a lot and just trained. But I was talking to some of the younger like kids and stuff, like we had a speed climber and he was like, oh, you can do this and you can do that. So I was like, made it a full day, a rest day, and I went out and did all these activities in the village, and it was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and the level of competition obviously, was that like not surprising, but were you like, oh shit, did you get a bit of nerves?
It'd be weird if I didn't. My biggest focus and goal was to like, I think I did like 4 back-to-back competitions before heading to Japan to train before Paris, and my aim was just to find a routine of competing, like waking up, doing this, doing that, hydrating, eating properly, to transfer my nerves into just like, oh, like what if I lose, like what if I do something stupid, or what if I embarrass myself, what if I get pinned straight away, transferring that sort of nervous energy into just enjoying it, have fun, do what you know. And I was able to do that, so I didn't want to pedestal the Olympics too much. When I remember listening to a few other Olympians in wrestling on our United World Body website, and they're like, you know, it's just another competition. A lot of people pedestal it too much, get too nervous, and they don't do as well as they should. So I took that on board quite a lot, and I sort of pulled myself back and just remembered that, yeah, it's just another competition. It's just where it is and what it is, which makes the difference. And then I just enjoyed myself.
That would be like every wrestler's kind of end goal, wouldn't it? That's like the end goal for wrestling, to go to the Olympics.
To go to the Olympics, yes. A lot of the more dedicated countries, who just revolve around wrestling, obviously to get a medal, that's their like number one thing to do. But also making it to the Olympics is a really big thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it's a big event for wrestling, but with the other girls were fucking. It's so weird seeing other girls your size and like even bigger, some of them, and I was like, oh my god, because obviously just being around you, you're like staunch as fuck, and then you see like another woman opposing you, and they're like bigger. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, because I'm so used to it, and like for us, like the next biggest weight class is 76, and that's our biggest weight class we have for women's. So like you can't be a plus at all. So like, and they're even bigger, like they're taller and they're broader and they're stronger and stuff. So it's like, for me, I was like, oh, I'm just normal for my weight class. Even when I was in 63, like I was a lot smaller but still big, and I was still the same size as everybody else. Like we all are the same size.
Who ended up golding in your division?
That was America.
America.
Yeah. I don't even know who took silver. Kyrgyzstan, I think. And then we have 2 bronzes. So
who you competed against? Was it a French girl?
Yeah, the French girl. Yeah. Home. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
No, really.
Because the crowd would have been so for her.
Well, yeah, which is really good, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have wanted to walk out any other way. With the cheering and everything, it's like you finally made it. Like granted that the cheering may not have been for me directly. But I gaslit it, and I was like, yeah, cheering for me. But it was so loud because we came out from underneath some stands, and it was really loud because they're metal. And coming out from the stands with even more stands, it was even louder. Like, I know it was really loud on TV, but it was so much louder walking out as well, because like obviously you get focal pointed with the noise you have above you, but then when it's like all around you, it's like sort of drowns everything.
It was so stressful trying to find your mat.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. Because I don't know if I don't fucking watch wrestling or, like, the Olympic Games, so I don't know how to navigate it.
Well,
and I was trying so hard, like, to not miss you when you were coming up.
And it makes it worse because obviously I live here in Australia, and so a lot of my friends are here. But normally they just stream, like, Australian sports. Yeah. So I was, like, a little bit worried that no one would get to see it and stuff like that.
No, they did it really well on Stan, so you could search by country.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
I didn't know. Even now I still don't know.
It was fairly not stressful, but at the time I was like, oh my God, surely she's about to fucking come out some sort of like time. But they had like 4 different mats running at the same time or something.
Yeah.
But,
because I think just before going out, I think it was like a minute or a couple minutes, I was like, oh my God. I was like, it's like how long was it? 12 years. I was like 12 years. I was like, I've been trying for the Olympics, and I was like, and it's about to be over soon. I was like, oh my God. So I was getting like real like, like not upset, like a little
Emotional.
bit overwhelmed, because I was just like, oh my God, I was like, this is the wrong time to do it. But I was just sort of like, I think that's what sort of brought me in. I was just like, just enjoy it, because I think I was getting even more nervous because I had a shoulder problem, which is now arthritis in the joint, but I was finding myself tensing all the time, and it was like pulling it out, and it was like making it even more sore. So I was quite glad I had that thought, because it sort of made me relax and just sort of enjoy the moment. And I mean, like, just before going out, I was just like, I don't want to stop wrestling. Like, I want it to, like, last for, like, 20 minutes, an hour, I don't know. But I think at that point, it really showed me how much I enjoyed my sport, and I loved it.
When you finished, when you finished, like, the Olympic Games, is that, like, in your head, was this, like, your last run? Was this, like, your crowning moment, like, heading towards retirement kind of thing now?
It's a bit hard to know, because obviously, like, I'm still quite athletic. I'm still fit. I can still do a lot of stuff. I'd like to be an active coach as well, like get on the mats and show how to do the movements, still wrestle and train. I know mentally I was a bit wiped out because I had so many competitions back to back.
You had a big year last year.
Yeah, a little bit.
I wasn't even trying to keep up anymore. I was like, I can't even look at her page. It's fucking making me tired.
I traveled to like 10 countries and I don't know, competed in like 5. I don't know. I did a lot of traveling and competing, and I was just really, really tired. I was really exhausted, and all I had to do was just hold on to the end of that, and then I could have a rest and break mentally, because we went to Italy after for a holiday. my partner and I. Because it was recommended by the psychiatrist to plan something after to prevent like post-comp depression and stuff like that, because it's such a big build-up
After the
towards something.
games.
Yeah, so that was recommended, so I did that. So for the first 5 days of the trip, I wasn't very nice.
Do you go to a
hear.
psychologist?
No, so I don't go to one. We're
You're like
offered
appointed one.
Yeah, we're offered one by the Olympic Committee.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which is good because for our sport being so small, we don't know what to do or who to turn to,
Yeah.
or sort of what to do post things. So that was really nice and really good of them to suggest that. So because I think before Birmingham Commonwealth Games in 2022, I had pulled myself out of the long list because I wasn't going to compete anymore, and then I got pushed onto this guy that I still talk to, and then he brought me back around, and then I applied again, and then won another bronze at Birmingham. So that was cool.
Maybe we can push you towards MMA now. Maybe this is the time.
Nah.
This is the time.
I'll learn it, but I won't do it.
Do you still do jiu-jitsu every now and then? Or are you so wrestling heavy at the moment?
I didn't realise, but it had been like 2 years since
I was going to say, I don't think I've seen you train
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu
it doesn't
much.
feel like that long, but it had been about 2 years since I was on the mat to do jiu-jitsu. I think when Declan was last year, I went on the mats for 2 sessions. I didn't really have the same motivation to want to continue doing it. I think because I'm still in the phase of just sort of like winding down and relaxing and enjoying myself and figuring out what to do post being an athlete if I'm going to head that direction. Because if I do want to like branch toward like New Zealand, we have like an athlete commission for the Olympic Committee to help athletes and stuff. But I think the requirement for that is 1 year of retirement. So I think the first year I'm just focusing on coaching, and if I get pulled into competing, I'll go and compete if I want to. If I don't, then I won't. And then I'll just sort of wait and see after a year to see how I go. And if it's been a year of retirement, then I might head towards there. But if it hasn't, then maybe I'll just continue competing.
Do you know what's crazy? I totally forgot that you had a match with Adele.
Yeah, I did.
And she just won fucking Female Grappler of the Year. And it was a good match.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah, I ruptured my ACL in that match.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That was at the M16 Open, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ruptured my ACL. I thought I just tore my cartilage, and then we had, I think 2 weeks later, I had nationals, and then 2 weeks after that, we had the trials, and then I think 2 weeks after that, I had Com Games.
It's so funny that you got so good at jiu-jitsu for basically a laugh. It was just a little side quest.
No,
Just accidentally.
people just keep telling me to do stuff, so I was like, okay, I'll just do it. And
Wrestling and jiu-jitsu kind of, it's a real natural progression though, eh?
No, because I did it because obviously I'm the only female that wrestles in South Australia, and I needed to cross-compete because females wrestle different to men. They compete different to men, and I need to have females to like compete with so I can get better. But it was so hard to find people, and unfortunately Adele had to deal with my fat ass in that match because she was like way under 60.
She's a lot smaller.
Yeah,
She's tiny
obviously.
girl. She's a tiny girl.
Yeah, I was pretty chunky. And now I'm extra chunky. But yeah, so it had to resort to that, like finding even people who were smaller just to compete with. And I need to have females to compete with, especially if I'm going to take it further like I did. Because men just don't have the same sort of movement as women.
It'd be very different.
It is, yeah.
And so the M16 Open breeds Olympic champs and ADCC champs.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's where we emerged from.
She's fucking really good.
Yeah, she is.
She's very good.
And lovely as well.
Seems like a very nice person. She's from Adelaide.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. Where is she living now? Is Perth? Or?
I'm pretty sure doesn't she train? I think she trains out of Absolute with Lachlan Giles.
Is that Melbourne?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, Melbourne. But I think she also trains in an American gym every now and then, goes over to America and trains over there.
I just see posts. I don't know where they're from.
Yeah.
It's like randomly sometimes I'll just post and I'll be somewhere. I don't know where I am.
Do you, so your plan is to eventually just get into coaching, chill out a bit, actually enjoy life?
Yeah. So my plan is my new aspiration is to coach people up to World, Commonwealth and Olympic level. So I'm spending the next few years trying to figure out how to periodization plan properly, to figure out what tournaments are best for our level athletes and stuff like that, which to aim for, the cheapest ones to go to get the best results, and also figure out how to get people meeting criteria to get funding from Olympic committees to help push them toward the higher levels as well.
I was going to say, getting funding alone, like your knowledge about just getting funding would be so fucking helpful.
Yeah, like doing it in advance. And like for us, because of the Olympic year just finished, I think high performance plans are due. They're like 4-year plans, so they're like due soon. So they need to be done for a lot of people. I just got to figure it out. I understand a little bit with New Zealand. I'm not sure about Australia, so I have to figure that out. And see who I have to talk to and ask and stuff. So yeah, so that's what I want to do. I want my athletes to be athletes and not have to manage themselves and coach themselves. So that's what I'm branching for. So whatever they need, I want to be able to do it for them.
What gym do you train? What's the name of the gym in Adelaide that you train at?
Wrestling Academy SA.
Wrestling Academy SA. Do you have a lot of young kids coming through there? Do young kids, do some flock towards wrestling?
Obviously, with most sports, like it varies. Like you'll have some that will come and then they'll leave. We've got our like solid few that have been there for like years, and even the same with our seniors and stuff. Just the same people who are just dedicated just to doing the trainings. And in a sense, like that's all we really need. With the younger kids, we've got like a new schedule now anyway to help differentiate the different levels and ages as well, because I find myself having to teach like 4 different things in one training, and for me it's like it's draining. So we're trying to separate all of that to make it easier. So we've got a focal point of kids going to like nationals and stuff like that, and then we've separated the 15-year-olds, so now they're going to be seniors, because on a world stage you compete from 15. So we're trying to separate that, because if you're 15 you can qualify for like U17s and stuff like that, and we've got the Youth Olympic Games coming up in 2 years as well that I've got a couple kids I want to head for to get them qualified, and even if they don't, then there's U17 Worlds that they can do.
Do the Russian countries do really well in wrestling?
Yeah, or Europe does really well.
It'd be like America, Russia, and apparently Asia at the moment, like Japanese.
Yeah,
are really,
Indians
really
as well.
Really,
yeah, they're really good. Kyrgyzstan. There's some Koreans as well.
there was a Korean girl in your division, I believe, that was killing it.
Yeah, really good. And there's even like some South Americans and stuff as well that do really, really well.
I was seeing a clip of Daniel Cormier and Khabib talking the other day, and they were talking about how Japan's just exploded at the moment.
Women's wrestling for Japan has always been big. They've always been really amazing. Yeah,
got a weird style, real technical kind of.
They're like leaves floating in the wind. Yeah, they'll be like here, then they're like down here. Yeah, they're so good. I love them, and they're really lovely, and they work really hard. So that's why like they sort of like, I feel they deserve their medals that they get because they work so hard and they always go beyond and stuff, and they're still really lovely. Like when I trained in Japan just before, I was at a university, so they're all like young girls, and they'll be up to like midnight doing all their study, and then they're waking up to do a 6 a.m. training session in the morning. So it's like, and then they go to school during the day, and then they have an evening wrestling session, and then they're up again late at night doing their studies. So like they barely sleep. But they get everything done, and they still achieve it at such a high level. That's
the Japanese culture in general. Anything they do. And wrestling, for a woman in Japan, I imagine wrestling's still like a fairly niche-ish thing. So to actually go all in on it, you'd have to be really willing to go all in on it.
Yeah, because obviously it's
a different culture over there.
The aim is to like represent the country at like worlds, and to go to the Olympics, and to win gold medals and stuff like that. Yeah.
Why do you think in Australia wrestling's never like more ingrained in our culture?
It's hard to say. Like, I do get asked a lot, but I can't really answer it because I like wrestling. I do wrestling all the time. Like, I don't see a reason why I shouldn't do wrestling. So I've never been one to not want to do wrestling, so I can't really answer that. But what I hear, what I see, I think people find it too hard.
It's pretty hard. But it's such a, like in America, they teach it at primary schools. And like,
yeah, they've got like really good
and in
programs
Cuba
like,
and South
kids.
America, everywhere, they just, they almost force it upon them to at least try it.
Yeah, well, it creates a really good base in a kid, and if they have that really good base from wrestling, then it makes other sports a lot easier to do. You know, they know how to fall properly, they know how to take impact as well, and they know how to like roll and stuff if they need to, which is obviously really good to have. But yeah, I'm not sure why it's so small here. I mean, it's not just Australia, it's the Southern Hemisphere. It's so tiny. I mean, maybe it's a financial matter. There's no massive incentives to do wrestling. Like if you do win nationals, they're like, well done, now you pay this much to go to this competition and you need to have it paid by this date. Which, like, for us, it's like, oh shit. Like, there's no rest period to be like, yeah, okay, what's the next step? Okay, I can afford to do this. It's like, no, the next step is this, and it's in like a month.
That's why you people need people like you to write these plans out for them,
A little
it's
bit
a
to
little less
prepare.
messy.
Yeah, so I've already like told a couple of our guys, I was like, it's going to cost minimum $6,000 to do this competition.
6,000.
Yeah, like for like Oceanias.
Flights, accommodation.
Yeah, flights was almost $4,000, and then because it's in American Samoa, it's American dollars, and it's like a compulsory week to stay there because they fly in, fly out only once a week. So it's like, yeah, you sort of have to be there for that whole week. And then so just so that they're ready and prepared, so they're not just paying things off and then like stung with like surprise payments or anything like that. So I have pre-warned them anyway. And then if they want to do any other tournaments, it's probably going to be close to this, blah, blah, blah. Just so that they're ready.
Have you thought about like ever doing, I don't even know if there is a thing like this where people will go to like schools, like do a thing of schools and just introduce kids to wrestling?
Yeah, the wrestling club has done that before, and they've done that for like multiple times a year, like leading up. I think they've been around for 15 or so years doing that sort of thing. And like maybe we pulled one person maybe a year out of that sort of thing. So that's why I structured a grading syllabus so the kids have a sense of achievement.
Like
so,
a belt system?
Yeah, but we do it with shirts, like coloured shirts. And so the kids have a sense of achievement, so they can go off to school and be like, oh, I did this, I achieved this, I'm this level now and stuff like that. So to get word of mouth through children instead.
I think that's a big reason as to why jiu-jitsu's taken off, because people realise that there's a belting system and like kids love that.
Yeah, achievements.
Because you can visually see your achievement.
I love certificates and medals and stuff like that. Even if I haven't done anything, I love getting things. I love free stuff. So I know kids will love free stuff. Or just some sort of sense of achievement in a certificate in something. Like it makes them happy and they smile and they feel better. But also it like for our higher graded kids that we've got already, like they take roles. So I make them do the warm-ups and take everybody for warm-ups and stuff like that. And to take each other a group or something, and they can teach each other technique while I deal with the other kids that don't know what they're doing, sort of thing. So I can put responsibility on them now too.
What was it like getting a medal?
From Egypt?
From Egypt, yeah.
I don't know. It was a little bit surreal. I was so nervous for that match because the first girl I was supposed to wrestle had to pull out because they had the Africa tournament or something only a few days before the qualifier, which I don't know why they did that, but anyway, so they had that and she got a massive black eye and she couldn't see out of it. So I knew like I needed a first match to get out all my nerves and stuff, but she had to pull out, so I won that match automatically. And then so the most important match I had to win, and I was so nervous and worried. But yeah, it was good. It was easy. I'm not saying she was easy, but like I didn't need to work myself up that much. So like, I don't know. It was just weird and surreal. I think when I first won a medal at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow in 2014, I think it was the same feeling. Like I didn't really feel like it was a real thing. And to actually finally qualify for something I'd been like trying to for so long, over a decade, to sort of come to fruition. It was just so weird and surreal. I was so happy, but then I didn't know if I was like, I don't know if it was just a dream, if I was like sleeping. I don't know.
Do you get imposter syndrome as well?
I did for a few months as I was preparing, because I made myself have some time off before I came back to prepare properly, because I knew like I trained for Egypt. I knew it was going to be a lot harder and I had to focus a lot more, and it was going to take a lot more of my time to prepare myself for Paris. And because like there's lots of countries who train more than I do, who get that opportunity. And I didn't really get the chance to train properly because I ended up coaching most of the trainings. So how much I would have liked to have trained, I didn't get to. So I started to panic a little bit and feel like, oh, maybe like
not
someone else should be here
because
I'm not. Harder. Yeah, because I'm not getting the chance to train as properly as I should. But in the end, I qualified that spot. I won that match, and I deserved to go.
Yeah, that would have been it'd be such a weird feeling that like not many people in the world ever will understand that feeling of like having a a really high level goal and then achieving it.
Yeah. I always set a lot of goals. Like every single day I set goals, like small goals. It doesn't really matter. And if I don't achieve them, I'm not like, oh shit, I didn't do that. Like, I don't feel bad. I don't give a shit. Like, that was yesterday. This is today. I'll just push it till today. And then on top of those little goals, I'll have like other goals, which are just slightly bigger. And then I'll have bigger goals on top of that. So I'm always thinking ahead. So like already I have a 5-year plan of what I want to do. Like I want to open up a gym and teach wrestling, because I'm also trying to figure out how to teach wrestling for females as well, because we wrestle differently to men.
More technical?
Yeah, but like obviously like our body structures are a lot different, so we can hit movements a lot better, but also like we have stronger areas compared to men. Men have different strong areas, we have different strong areas. So sort of learning to utilize those areas better, but also not getting caught in those areas. And if we do have to train with men, just how to like work around that, and like what body types, like what to do for certain body types if you're this body type as well. Like short people shouldn't go straight under heavier people, like cut angles and stuff like that.
And also which countries obviously wrestled in a different way, like which nationalities, if they come from a certain country. Like I was watching, like obviously I've watched a lot of Dagestanis wrestle, and they just look just relentless.
Yeah, they train very hard.
And they just ankle pick you, and they just know like they're so good at just throwing you off balance. And then once they get on top of you, they look like they feel like an elephant.
Yeah, pressure. So teaching pressure control and stuff is something that I want to do. So we're going to be doing some courses throughout this year, 2025. Yeah, it's this year. So we're going to do some courses aimed at workshops for particular areas of wrestling as well. And to offer that to people so they can pick and choose what they want to do to work on specifically, and that'll be throughout the whole year that we'll do, and even down to learning how to suplex people in different ways and stuff too.
The fireman carry.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the courses or workshops that we'll be doing too.
Masterclass, you do a masterclass on that.
12 variations.
12.
Yeah.
It does. Wrestling, I can understand why it doesn't kick off heaps hard in Australia, because I think wrestling really benefits if you start from a young age.
I think...
Because I don't reckon you would notice. I think it would be actually pretty fun if you're a kid.
Yeah.
But like as an adult, if you're an adult, like a 30-year-old just walking into a wrestling class, you're going to fucking hate it the next day.
Yeah, just a little bit.
If you're not like an active person and you're not used to like physical exertion, I think wrestling is probably the most physically exertive task you can take on.
It's more so for people who like challenge.
It's very challenged. Like you would have to really want to run yourself into the ground to like enjoy, like, but there is a certain type of person that does enjoy that.
Yeah, I like challenges. So I like if I'm trying to go for a movement and I hit it and the person learns from it and then they do something else and I have to figure something else out. Like I love that. I get very bored with people who don't learn from the same mistake over and over again. I get very frustrated. So I'll just try to do something else and stuff like that. But it's better when you have someone who's like-minded, who likes to challenge, so they'll constantly keep up with you doing stuff, and then they keep changing angles and stuff. So for me, as a person who likes challenge, maybe I'm speaking for others who like challenge, I think that's also another reason why wrestling is so fun as well.
Have you thought of like a next physical activity that you can do? Like, are you going to take on like CrossFit or fucking running ultra marathons, or like is there
really? I don't like
something
running.
else you do?
I don't like running. I've actually competed nationally in 6 different sports and internationally in 2.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm quite athletic. I've done a lot of sports. So I went in like national level. I think I placed 4th in athletics for like sprinting. I played for my regional team for rugby. I did
athletics is a bloody grind. Those like top tier athletic athletes, like runners, they're specimens.
Yeah, they're so strong, and they just know how to do it properly. And
so
it's
explosive.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just so much fun. You see them here, then all of a sudden they're just there.
Yeah, watching professional runners is like.
I kind of like. Obviously with wrestling, you know, like girls, they come out, sometimes they're bleeding, their eyes are bleeding, they're like fat lips and their hair's all messy, even ripped out and stuff. And then you see these like athletes, athletics, like sprinters, and they're like got their wigs on and
Shikari,
their gold
that's Shikari,
chain and
yeah.
their like big nails, and I'm like, oh wow, so pretty. We don't look that pretty when we come off the mat. I was like, oh, it just doesn't make sense to me. Even like when I go to like the weights gym, like a public gym, I'm like, see girls with their hair down and like little wee thingies, I don't know, bras, sports bras, whatever. I'm like, how can you train in that? Because I'm like, because of wrestling, you're like, everything will fall out if that's the case. My hair will get pulled out. Like I rip my own hair out, even if it's in a ponytail, so I have to like knot it up in the big bun. But yeah, I think that to me is just fascinating, coming from a grappling sport and seeing people who don't do grappling but do sport and at high level, and just how they're dressed. I'm like, whoa.
It is fucking crazy how some people dress to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking a bit ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can be comfortable, but you can also just put on like a tiny bit of clothes. If you don't want men absolutely fucking gawking you down and staring at you, which you pretend like you don't want. But if you do go to the gym dressed like a stripper, people are gonna look at it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I have the same thoughts exactly. I'm like, why are you wearing that?
well, they can wear whatever, but then don't complain. You see some people online that complain about people getting stared at. It's more like...
I think for me, it's also like, even if you do stare at someone because of what they're wearing, because I'm like so used to people wearing clothes, the only people who would maybe take part of their clothes off is like men when they take their shirts off after they finish training, or if they're training. But that's not weird for like me in the environment that I've been brought up in. But seeing females with barely any clothes on is so strange to me. Yeah, I don't...
Did you go to an award ceremony or something in New Zealand after the games?
Yeah, so I went to...
Was that just like an athletic commission or something?
No, that was our Olympic pinning ceremony and our Olympic gala as well.
Was that cool?
Yeah, I brought my pin. Do you want to see it?
Yes.
So,
so you get this pen if you compete in the games?
Yeah, so it's my Olympic number. So it's the number Olympian that I am. That's represented New Zealand at Olympic Games.
That's sick.
Yeah. I think we have about 1,600 at the moment.
That's sick.
I think I also brought my medal that I won when I qualified. Oh yeah, here it is. And there's only 2 of these in the world.
Anyone can see that. Oh, wait, where am I? I'll put it actually on the camera in a fucking minute. Wait up, there we go. If anyone can see that, it's pretty cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I might have dropped it a few times and stuff, but it's there.
Is this your favourite medal?
I don't know.
Do you have a favourite?
Yeah, I think mine is... it's at the club at the moment. I didn't have it at home, but it's the Birmingham bronze medal. Because that's the one, like I pulled myself out of the long list and I wasn't initially going to try for it, but I'm really glad that I did, and that's sort of my like redemption medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's everything you got for the games?
I got a lot more, but
people get paid for the games now? Do they?
Yeah. If you medal, you get paid.
If you medal?
Yeah, if you medal, you get paid.
I think it's pretty small though. It's like $10,000 an athlete or something.
No.
Depending on the country, maybe.
Depends on the medal. So if you get a gold, you get more money. Obviously, silver, you get money, and then bronze, you get less money, but you still get money. And I think per sport, they were doing like certain amounts for sports as well. Can't remember. I think it's like athletics or something. I can't remember which one, but they were like getting like lots of money.
Athletics is the biggest one in the games, isn't it?
There's a lot of people that do it. But even like countries in themselves, like I know like for certain countries, even for Commonwealth Games, would get like houses and cars if they medalled at like a Commonwealth Games. So like you can only imagine like what they'd get at Olympic Games.
China is such a proud country too. They give you like fucking $1 million if you gold for that country.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
They're such a proud country.
Yeah.
The games mean so much to like, I guess it should, but to certain countries the game is very important.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't think, actually Australia does very well in the games.
But the amount of people that they send, like,
per capita,
it'd be crazy. Yeah, it'd be crazy not to do so well, especially with America. I think they had the most people. I think over like 500 people or something.
Really?
Yeah, go to the Olympics for America, and then I think Australia had like 300. I think New Zealand had maybe 100, if that. Yeah. So like you don't realize just how little amount of people go per country. Like there's been like all those islands would send like one person or two people as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you just don't realize.
You'd see on the opening ceremony they'd have like a country from like the middle of Africa and it'd have 2 people on it.
But even like some American states, like Guam, for instance, is an American state, but they're their own country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like also what we do at the games, Commonwealth Games as well, is we exchange pins at the beginning. Because we have to wear our uniforms all the way through. So we exchange pins. So we always go to the smaller countries because there's not many of those pins. So in a sense for us, it's like, oh, it's the rare pin because there's not many. And then at the end of the games, we all exchange our uniforms for what we want. And so we all like for the like duration of the whole games, we were like sussing out all the uniforms to find out which are the good ones. What'd you get? Nothing, I left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it didn't really bother me too much. Actually, no, I got a shirt from Samoa, which I like. I think I gave it to my brother. But yeah, that's what we do at the games. Hide in our rooms, we train, compete, and eat food because the food hall's open 24/7.
It looked delicious, by the way.
Yeah, it was massive inside. I didn't document much. Like there was a lot to do, and probably on my phone in iCloud, there's probably lots of videos. But in the food hall, it was massive. It was huge. It's huge on the outside. It's huge on the inside, and they had like 8 separate rooms for different types of food, and then they had one main big hall room full of like food. Yeah, just trying to like I don't know, cater to all the different cultures for what foods that they might want to eat. I think I just went to the first room and stayed there.
There a lot of party like afterwards?
I don't know, Australia did.
I imagine it would get pretty loose
maybe
after.
It looked like they were all drinking like coffee and like water, but I don't think it was.
Yeah.
The way they were acting, it didn't seem like that. Because there was like a Corona bar there that was open for X amount of hours a day, but every day. But they served like non-alcoholic Corona. Yeah. I think but they also were doing like one of the activities I mentioned. They were doing an activity where they had these gold metal Corona bottles and you could get them engraved. So I think I got one done for Miles.
That's
as a thank
sick.
you. Yeah, it was really cool. But I couldn't get Miles' name on it. I did my name on it. So I was like, oh, stupid. At least he knows who it's from.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Did you get to meet Reagan?
Oh, I don't think I wanted to.
Did you see her there?
No.
She fucking got rid of the sport. It's not in the Olympics anymore.
Yeah, did you hear that thing she was doing? Like doing like some promotional dancing thing? Like, oh, if you think you can dance better than me, then into this like competition or something. And I don't know if it's still going. I think it got canned.
Well, she's suing a like small. There's like a really small like little play that these like 20 people were doing based on ray gun, and she's fucking suing him.
Oh, I don't know. Look, it's a very sad story. Like
it's sad.
You know, like a lot of people have said, and I've seen lots of memes about it too. Like putting like normal people into the Olympics just so we can see how impressive Olympians are.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be mean, but it's sort of like having her in there did it for all sports just to show how impressive Olympians are by having her do what she did.
Oh, it's just, but the thing is, there's so many better candidates. Like breakdancing is such an athletic thing it's a real athletic endeavor to do. Like if you see an impressive breakdancer, they're basically fucking calisthenic experts.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like my favorite thing to watch in the Olympics is gymnastics.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite too.
I think they're the biggest physical specimens of all time.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're top 2 sports in the world, I think, for like body weight to strength ratio is gymnastics and wrestling.
Really? Mm. And I imagine climbing would be pretty. Oh, I don't know if climbing's more of a technical thing, but
it's so explosive because they have to be strong to hang on, but they also have to like pull their whole body weight up to like catch and like speed climbing. Oh, that'd be crazy. That was so cool to watch.
You got to watch a lot of sports too, obviously.
Yeah,
then.
so we had like a little team room with like 3 or 4 TVs up playing different sports, and so initially we just cycled through whoever was competing that day on each TV, and then we just watched whatever we wanted after as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so cool to just like siphon through all the different sports. It was wicked. Mm.
Did New Zealand have any gold? Do you know how many gold you got?
I think we got 20 medals. I can't remember how many golds we got, but I think it was our biggest haul of medals.
Yeah,
that we've had.
Do they play rugby for the game?
Sevens, yeah.
They play sevens.
Yeah.
Surely you just did well.
Our women's got gold. Yeah.
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 Right.
So amazing.
So now, do you reckon now next year another woman will step up for New Zealand?
I hope so.
In the next game, sorry.
I hope so. We've got one female active at the moment internationally. So I'm the head coach for the Australian and New Zealand women's team going to Sweden in February. So we only had one girl that was able to come because she's the only active one and of age as well. So hopefully her.
Do you get more stress coaching than competing?
I think so. I get nervous.
Yeah.
Obviously,
because you can't control it.
Well, yeah, I really want them to do well and stuff like that. And I'm not entirely sure if they're tuned into my voice and whatever I say, like they don't do it. I'm like, why aren't you doing it? And oh, we couldn't hear you. So I'm like, oh my God, do I need to be louder? But I'm as loud as I can get.
Yeah.
But it also I know for me, when I had my very first coach, I had him for 12 years. I didn't even have to look at him. Whatever he said, I could hear it over everybody's voice.
Yeah.
Whatever he said.
Just in sync.
Yeah, but it's not like he said it, then I did it. He would say it halfway through. I'd just be doing the movement as well. And I sort of want to have that sort of relationship with my athletes that I'm constantly with as well. I could just say something and they just do it.
Something you really need to build for years, though. That probably doesn't come easy. That's probably a real hard thing to get with.
I think he was the last coach I had, and that was back in 2011. Oh no, 12.
Really?
Yeah.
That long ago?
I think so. Yeah, I think 2012, 2013 was the last time I had a coach. Yeah.
It's also dealing with when the girls or the boys lose. How are they going to deal with it? Am I going to have to pull them out of a rut? You're kind of also taking on a fucking parent role as well.
A little bit. You have to not saying you have to, but what I like is, you can't really show how mad and annoyed you are because they're going to feel bad and they're going to be like, oh, I really upset them. I didn't do what they wanted to do.
Everyone reacts different to different things.
I want them to want to wrestle and I want them to want to do well as well. I don't want them to do well so that I'm happy with them. Regardless, I'm going to be happy. But I want them to be proud of themselves when they wrestle. I want them to enjoy it and I want them to achieve their goals that they set themselves as well. So that's all that's important to me. So even if they don't, win their match, even if they do win their match, I just send them off to walk off by themselves.
Do you seem like you take loss pretty well?
Yeah.
Outward, I don't know what's going. I don't know what the fuck's going on up in here, but you've lost at obviously all kind of levels of competition before, the smallest to the biggest, and you seem like you recover pretty well from it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, well, it's it's not the end of the world. There's another competition out there. Maybe
I was going to say with wrestling, you can kind of redeem yourself if you're not injured and you come out clean.
Well, how I would think about it is I paid my way to get here. I trained myself to get here. I put in the effort, the time to get myself to this fitness level, to this skill level. The only person that can really have a say about how I've lost and how I can move on is myself. I was like, no one else. There are some people, if they get paid to wrestle, that's their income and that's their job is to wrestle. I can understand why they get upset because, that's going to affect their pay. If they don't pull results, they're not going to renew their contract, But for me, I was like, I work a job. I get paid. I pay for everything, my rent, everything. No one pays for those things. Well, now someone does because I've decided I don't want to work. But before that, so I was just like, no one really has a say in my life. I do, so I don't really get too hung up if on a loss or on a win either. I don't really care. Do
you ever think of how much further you could have taken your ability if you were born into a country where wrestling was a number one priority?
Not in that sense. I don't.
Because even to hang with those kind of girls where they're doing wrestling in primary school and high school, fucking 6 days a week, and there's programs with money just being thrown at them, and it's crazy that you can even hang with them and being basically almost self-managed.
Well, I'm happy for where I've been born and how I started wrestling because it built the resilience that I have, and the mindset too. The thing that I do sort of wonder is if I had the coaching.
Yeah.
If I had the if I move from having this coach and when I finished with that coach, moving to another coach, I never got that. Like if I actually had a coach for the past 12 years, what could have been different?
That's crazy. I didn't realise that you didn't have a coach.
Yeah, like Luba was coaching me, but I didn't have a coach. Yeah. When I was preparing for the Olympics, I was doing video coaching, but at the end of the day, I was like, it didn't really have an impact.
As well.
Yeah, because I'd already finished the training. And when I did go to apply it, like they couldn't see it till after the training anyway.
So what, you recorded sessions and then you send them film?
Yeah, and then like I said, like it's not like it was still early enough for me to take it on board, what they said, because, you know, there'd be that time difference, like 2.5 hour time difference for the coaches in New Zealand. And it was just a little bit too late, I think, to trying to do things and change things after I qualified. Like it sort of needed to be done beforehand, and a rapport needed to be built before that as well. And like I was assigned a head coach for the Olympics, but I think through the last phase of the preparation, he decided not to come with me to Japan. So I'm just like, whoa, I'm here by myself. No one's really looking at what I'm doing. No one's assessing. So I sort of just did my own thing and just enjoyed it.
Yeah. Go out how you went in, solo.
Yeah, pretty much. So it was fun. I enjoyed it. I can't dwell on anything. I don't have regrets. I don't wish anything to be different. Like what happened, and every step that I take now is going to be the first, because regardless, I'm the first female that qualified for the Olympics for wrestling.
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
Forever.
Yeah, creating my own legacy.
Name in the history books.
Yeah.
That's a crazy start.
Yeah, so I made Wikipedia when I made history when I was 21 for Glasgow, when I was the first female to medal at the Commonwealth Games. And I broke the, I think it was 26 or 28 year drought that we had as well at the Commonwealth Games. So I made Wikipedia then. And then, 10 years later, I made history again by going to the Olympics.
You went to New Zealand heap last year, eh?
Nah, just once.
Once? Was that, maybe I'm thinking of another year?
Yeah, I practically go once a year.
Once a year?
Yeah.
Do you love going back? Is your family all there?
Yeah, my brother moved over last year in April. He's in Canberra at the moment. I do love going home, but I also dread going home. I didn't have the greatest I had a falling out with my first coach I had for 12 years, and I don't know what it is, if there's some weird radar, but every time I go home, something about him pops up.
Yeah.
So I tried, I love going home, see my family, seeing my friends, and I'd love to be there for a long time, but something happens and I hear about him or something talks to me.
Just a bad energy.
Yeah, just something pops up, and I just
Obviously it wasn't a mutual split between you two?
No, I just left.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were together for 12 years. So he knew me since I was 7 up until I was 20 pretty much. So he grew up with me, I grew up with him. Just the breakup wasn't great. So yeah, haven't really talked about it, so...
Coaches also get pretty possessive over talent as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Certain coaches, they'll get really possessive and not want you to move on to do better.
It's not even that. It's just it was just he told my dad something. I asked him about it. He lied, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And so I left. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. And now it's good though it's also good to experience that kind of not so good environment, because then obviously as a coach now you know exactly what not to do.
Yeah.
And you you've probably bumped shoulders with heaps of coaches and kind of picked up their best traits and know their worst traits. And
yeah, there have been times even me as an athlete, I've been a bit arrogant and I've thought I've known better and I don't want to listen.
That's just being younger though.
Yeah, and I was but I was so difficult to coach as well, and I was fuck, I need to pull my head and I need to learn, because I'm just finding a fault in everything. And then I'm in my head, I'm not learning. I was I've been here for X amount of time. I was and I haven't learned anything because I'm being too difficult. So I had to turn that around, and just it's weird to know just how much you learn when you want to learn as well. So I'm trying to instill that, if they don't want to come to wrestling, I can't force them to be there. I can't force them to learn. I was if they're not going to learn, they're not going to learn.
Being good at learning a task as well isn't easy. You have to actually have it in you to be a good learner.
Not really, because there's different ways to learn,
Yeah,
and
everyone learns
trying to
differently.
figure out how someone learns. Like our kids, like we've got so many who pick up visually or verbally, or just lots and lots of drilling, or broken down steps. So that's why it gets a little bit difficult with like the different age groups, because they learn differently. So that's why That's why I've decided to break up the age groups, because then that gives me more time to figure out which athlete learns better.
I know
Ways.
personally I like only learn visually, and if I get absolutely fucking hammered for my mistakes. Like I have to
Yeah.
be really fucking broken down and hammered as a person. Like that's the
Yeah.
only way I learn. If I fucking not abused, but if I get fucking like rubbed down to a nub. That's the only way I'll learn.
Yeah, I'm a visual learner.
I'm a visual learner, but
But
like, if I make a
yeah.
mistake, I need to be fucking like, I need it to be hammered into me.
Yeah, I'm visual and I pick it up really fast. So I need to do it because I get too excited and I really want to do the move. And then, like, I know some people love talking when they coach. And I can't.
Talking when you coach.
Yeah, like some people love to, like, over-explain, because there's some people who love
Okay.
detail. And then, like, because I'm a visual learner, I'll see them do it once and I'm like, okay, I know how to do it and I want to go off and do it. But they talk too much and then I get distracted. Yeah, so I'm a visual learner. Yeah, for sure. I do over-explain for some, because we have some who need more explanation. But what I tend to do is just show the movement, explain it once, send them off, and then I'll go around separately and do what they need to. Yeah.
Do you like reels and stuff on your page too, well? Content could be like a little thing for you on the side.
Yeah, I just post stuff. I'm not overly big with...
Some of your exercises fucking would do, like crazy.
Yeah, they're just standard.
Yeah, standard
Yeah.
for like a wrestler, but when someone who doesn't wrestle watches like even a wrestling warm up, it's so funny to watch like
Yeah.
how hard the warm up.
Well, you don't realize just how athletic you have to be.
Bounce off your fucking head and do a front flip.
But these are like directional changes, like mid-air and stuff. Like you need to be able to do that. So if someone like tackles you, you got to be able to like not just let them tackle you, but you got to react in a way that's going to save you. So like if I get tackled, I go straight to my back and lose 4 points. But if I get tackled and manage to rotate mid-air and land on my stomach, I only lose 2 points.
Is that all core? Is it big on core wrestling?
I think so, yeah. But everything, like the whole body is strong. Yeah.
And your necks, like
Yeah.
when you're on your neck and you're like running around like a little possessed demon.
Yeah, but like, you know, when we do some of our like gut wrenches or leg laces and they're not turning, you do that. You do those like weird rotational things and you got to like pick yourself back up and stuff. And like it cuts out angles and time and like getting positions as well if you're able to do all of that stuff. I know in one of my videos I posted, I think there's these two girls that are arguing at the moment about the movements. Like one's like, doesn't think like you need to do it, and this other one's like, yeah, you have to do it. So like I just woke up to all these messages of these two girls arguing. I was like, oh my god.
Watching high level wrestling and watching women's wrestling and men's wrestling, obviously watching men's sport and women's sport is very different. Like you said, they're good at very different things. But watching like really explosive high level men wrestle is like watching two fucking bears.
Oh, and they're so strong.
And like
as
watching
well.
a Jordan Burroughs or like a Bo Nickel or just like really high level wrestlers, it's very exciting.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
It's if no one's ever actually sat down and watched high level wrestling, it looks like two really big apex predators trying to kill each other.
Yeah, because like it may even just be like move for move as well, but they're like really big movements. Because like they will like overcommit and make sure they get it as well.
I think it's the stalling, not the stalling, but like when they're trying to figure out each other and it's they're too scared to take the first shot. I think that's kind of maybe what's a bit... It's like jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu can be deterring for people who don't know what's going on as well.
Yeah.
When there's lots of hand fighting or like they're not trying to get into a position because they're both scared of ending up on the bottom.
Feeling out the like opponent pretty much. Yeah.
But some matches don't go past that for a long time.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that with Greco, because obviously with Greco you can't attack from the waist below. So that's like a full like
Is that right?
Yeah, so it's like a massive syllabus of movements you can't do in Greco.
So Greco's a waist. So no like double legs or anything.
You can't touch the legs with your hands and you can't touch the legs with your legs.
Okay, that makes heaps of sense.
Yeah, so you can't do foot trips, you can't do knee picks.
I've never understood the difference. So
that's why it looks like it's boring, but the less activity generally in a Greco match means that they're higher level wrestlers because they don't want to give up position, but they're trying to fight for a position. Yeah.
It's fun. What like someone just running and throwing a mad blast, like just blasting a double leg, is so fun to watch.
It's probably like the beach wrestling that we had in December was really good because
you do that every year, yeah?
Yeah, so we might do it again at the end of summer because at the Youth Olympic Games in 2 years they've also got beach wrestling.
Do you do that down at
Christie's?
Christie's?
Yeah. So we might try to do it again because there's also worlds for beach wrestling as well. So like it's another sport that we can take further. That's grappling. But yeah, like that's really fun to watch because like you just do see really big throws and movements and stuff. Yeah,
because you got the sand.
Not just that. It's just like I think one match is only 3 minutes and you only have to get to 3 points as well.
Oh,
like
okay.
Yeah.
So it's like it's more explosive.
Yeah. So you can either get a 1 point or a 3 point movement.
I was obviously for your match. I was kind of looking up the clock because I didn't know what the fuck how the points. So I was watching the previous matches and I was watching it just so I could kind of figure it out. It's actually not that hard to like figure out. It's a pretty simple sport.
Yeah.
Just don't get pinned.
Pretty much. Don't get pinned, but pin them.
Yeah. It's a very simple sport.
Yeah. That's what I tell everyone. It's like, it's easy. You just have to put them on their shoulders. But they don't want you to, and they're trying to do it back to you. And that's it.
I think there was some, I don't know, there was a lot of, where they go to the judges and they go to like a review. They were reviewing a few, so I don't know if the judges were like, I don't know if that was new or not.
No. So that's normal. So if the coach thinks that the call was wrong, that the referee made the wrong call, then they can throw in the towel and they can review the match and generally like maybe a roll was missed and they only scored 2 points to blue even though red also scored points but they didn't see red's points. So they review and then they're like, so they won the challenge. Red actually scored 2 points, blah, blah, blah. But if red didn't actually score points, then they lose the challenge and they also lose a point.
Do you still work a bit with MMA fighters?
No, I've been focusing on wrestling since I've been back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would that be something you'd ever look into doing, like joining fight camps?
No, so what my long-term plan as a coach is to teach wrestling for MMA and teach wrestling for jiu-jitsu, but also teach jiu-jitsu for wrestlers.
So jiu-jitsu for wrestlers as well. Interesting. Because MMA wrestling would be very different to wrestling, wouldn't it?
It's so different. It's more Greco. So it'd be really good to find.
But then you get like those Dagestan, like Khamzat Chimaev, who would just throw a fucking blast double from the other side of the cage, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Yeah, power.
There's just nothing.
Yeah.
There's a clip of he just bet Robert Whittaker. Did you see it?
No.
He manhandled Robert Whittaker like a 4-year-old child, and he broke his bottom bridge of his teeth.
I saw that.
Yeah. And Robert Whittaker said, I don't know how any human alive can stop him from doing that. He's going to take, he's so committed to the taking you down that there's no hesitation. Like, there's nothing in his brain that says this is getting stuffed. So it's so hard to stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's 150% committed to getting your fucking leg.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah. Scary.
It's a very different. It's a very, very different. I imagine the cage as well. There'd be a bit like Khabib, and a lot of people have weaponized the cage with wrestling. Like you'd never see Khabib take someone down in the center of the octagon. He's always using the cage to his benefit.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, like,
have you worked with the cage much?
No, not the cage. No. Oh, I did some stuff with Kim ages ago.
The one at M16 now would be interesting for you to like have a play around with.
We just did the wall stuff. But like you said, it's so different. Like, I can't be in my low stance. I'll probably get kneed in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just, pressure. Like, I'm not good with that up on the wall pressure. I'm not good with that. So I want to try to figure that out. But I did learn that, like, low leg attacks is pretty easy and hard to defend if you're on the wall.
Especially if someone's got a real high stance and, like, they're not expecting you to just shoot a blast double or, like, just grab a single leg.
Yeah, it's all variant. I mean, like, you also have to be good at what you're trying to do as well. Like, you can't go in half-hearted, like you said. Like, that guy goes in 150%.
That's why why he's the most terrifying first-round fighter of all time, because you know the second that bell rings, you're fucked. Like just
some people do that. They just wait. Their reaction is so quick, and they just know what they're going to do, and nothing's going to stop them from getting what they want to get and what they've planned to get.
Do you enjoy watching wrestling?
Yeah, my friends, yeah.
Your friends?
I like watching my friends, yeah.
Yeah. Because
I get so nervous and worried and stuff, but yeah, definitely my friends I love watching. I don't mind watching other people that I know, like I've just seen on the scene for a long time. I don't mind watching them as well. Because, like, you know, it's like better watching the Olympics when you know someone's in the Olympics.
It gives more skin in the game.
Yeah, but you feel like it's a little bit like personal as well.
Yeah, especially like when you watch someone in a knees, if you're like a Muay Thai fight or something that I know, you get fucking sweaty.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no.
Yeah, because there's like I think I follow as much as I can in what I see. Like I forget a lot of things happen as well because I'm just off in my own world. But there was one guy that I've competed at Commonwealth Games with before. He's a boxer in New Zealand, and he's got a fight coming up, I think, tomorrow. And I was already just like looking at it and just like...
Who is it?
David Nika.
You know him?
Yeah, we competed in Commonwealth Games, Gold Coast, and I think...
He's a fucking animal.
Yeah, he's so cool, and he's really lovely, and he's so smart as well. But so he's got a fight coming up, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah.
I went down this rabbit hole. I'm like, who he's fighting, and like caught up in all the interviews, and I got real sweaty. I was like, oh my God, I hope he does really well, blah, blah, blah.
They did
But it was like things like that. Like, I don't know him on like a completely personal level. Like,
but you know him.
Yeah. Like that sort of thing.
He's a savage. They did like a little sit down. They released like a little sit down press conference, then personal one-on-one face-to-face.
Yeah.
And it was fucking so intense. Both very intense people, like very serious, intense people.
Yeah, I was saying to
gives me goosebumps talking about it.
I was saying to my partner, I was like, it's such a different match when both people are in it for the sport and to like, you know, make themselves better because they have a goal. It's not personal.
Yeah. It's not. There's no fucking crazy family shit being said. You can tell just looking at them that both of them really believe that they're gonna walk out winning.
Yeah.
And that makes for the best fights because both of them really 100% believe that they're going to win tomorrow.
But also they both deserve it.
Yeah.
That's also the thing.
So it sucks that someone has to lose in those situations.
Yeah.
But in those situations, hopefully it's that good a fight that no one really loses. It's just one person happens to win.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, I caught up on that yesterday.
Is the MMA thing to tell you with the getting hit?
Yeah, like obviously I don't like things flying at my face. I've got a bruise here from an elbow, you know, like it was playing a game and I just like landed on someone's elbow and it smushed my face and my cheek hurt.
I really don't think anyone would be able to hit you. I
hit myself probably. My eyesight is so bad from getting smacked in the head so much.
Really?
Yeah, I get smacked. I think I got smacked twice in the same spot. It was like maybe a couple years ago. And it gave me headaches for months, and I had to go get glasses.
You had concussion symptoms for that long?
Maybe, yeah. So I had to get glasses for that. So
concussions would be a massive thing in wrestling, head clashes.
Yeah, but we don't get concussions often.
Really?
Not at all. Like, I was fine after the first day. Second day when I got smacked in the same spot, it wasn't too good.
Yeah, right.
You know, like continuous, like anyone would, like get a problem with. But we don't often get many concussions because of our neck strength and stuff. And that's why we do what we do to strengthen our neck. That's why you do stability for knees to keep them strong. Like you do isometric stuff to keep everything strong so they don't get damaged easily.
Yeah, I only found out like it would have been within the last like 6-7 years that having such a thick neck does attribute to getting less concussion.
Not thick neck, because
like strong.
Yeah, it's like
stable.
Someone made a comment about having big traps. I was like, that doesn't mean your neck is strong.
Yeah, like a stable, like a real strong, stable neck.
Yeah, like it makes a world of difference. You get smacked in the head, you don't really care.
If you get discs fused, you'll see a lot of people that get their discs fused in their neck, obviously from years of competing, and they physically can't move their neck. It's just like a pole.
I would hate that. It would suck. I've got a calcified tendon in my elbow, and I can't straighten it. And every time it accidentally straightens, it like pops out and cracks, and it hurts like hell.
You've been pretty lucky with injury, though, yeah.
Lucky at getting them.
Lucky, you are pretty. You have like gone through a lot of injury.
Yeah, I ruptured my ACL playing like a friendly game of rugby one time, which sucked because I had made the Canterbury women's team for rugby and I couldn't play because I ruptured my ACL.
You made Canterbury?
Yeah, twice. So I made it, got injured, had to recover. The next year I made it again, and then we went on and played to national level for that. So that's another sport. I also trialed for women's sevens as well, back in 2012. But they gave me an ultimatum. I had to quit wrestling if I wanted to play rugby. So I said no, because at the time there was like massive talk of wrestling being pulled out of the Olympics, and I wanted to try make the Olympics before that ever happened. So I quit playing rugby back then for that reason. I've also scorpioned myself at my first world tournament for wrestling, and I popped a vertebrae out. It still sits out a little bit.
Like you got spiked on your head?
No, I've scorpioned myself. My legs came up. I was doing I defended the attack, but then I scorpioned myself, hurt myself, but then I got scored on. Yeah, and that was at 2015 in my first world tournament, and even still, I got a little. My vertebrae sticks out a little bit from that. And I got arthritis in the knee that I got ACL surgery.
You're going to need to go to Tijuana or one of those South American countries to get some stem cells.
Maybe, yeah. And then my ACL ruptured in the jiu-jitsu comp.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I think when I had my match with Nora, I was training a couple days before someone like hyperextended my elbow over their shoulder. And from that, I got a calcified tendon.
It's hilarious that you did jiu-jitsu for 2 years and probably sustained more injuries than your whole wrestling career.
Yeah. And then I got arthritis in my shoulder from a frozen capsule. And
I have the grossest shoulders you'll ever hear, eh?
yeah, I don't want you to. See, my ankles do that because I've rolled my ankles so much, but like nothing bad in them.
I don't think I have cartilage in my shoulders, but I don't know why. Just years of just fucking not fixing my injuries.
Go to a doctor.
I was always, it's so funny because when you're a kid, you're like, yeah, it's true. Everyone's like, you should go to the doctor, you shouldn't leave things. But then you're like, no, I'll be fine. And then you hit 30. The second you hit 30, you wake up with injuries.
Yeah.
Like I'll wake up, my fucking ankle sometimes just swells up.
Well, my knee's hurting. My arthritic knee is just hurting, like randomly. Like, it only used to hurt if I jumped straight into training without a couple days preparation, and I've been training like all the way through Christmas, and like it's just sore all the like way through. So I don't know why that's happening. And then my elbow keeps popping out, and so
At least when you do throw in the towel and you do stop competing, you have so much time to catch up on so many like normal human being things. You have so many shows you can watch. I imagine you've never really watched shows.
yeah, I watch shows all the time.
You watch? Oh, you're always traveling.
I love Korean
guess.
shows.
Korean.
Yeah, they're real fun.
Did you watch the new Squid Game?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
It's good.
Of course it is.
It's just setting up. Have you seen Alice in Borderlands?
Yes.
That's fucking so much better than Squid Game.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy, and it's so sad. You know that part when it's like they're catching the wolf or something,
And they have to kill the mates. Is it that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's no spoilers. The show's
basically the
fucking
one
8
who
years
is
old.
the wolf.
Yeah.
Basically survives.
Because I was like, oh, this show's pretty good, but then that episode happened, and I was like, this show's really good because they just killed off all of the main characters.
Yeah.
They just killed them all.
Yeah, but like they couldn't turn back as soon as they entered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. That show is so good.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Korean film is so fucking good.
Yeah, I love it. Even their like stupid drama, like lovey romantic ones are funny.
They're all good. Like there's have you seen what's the zombie movie? Train to Busan?
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah,
They're all good.
Have you seen Kingdom?
No,
Kingdom's
is that
really good.
Like the samurai one.
No, it's back in like
It's old school. It's like an old school one.
yeah.
I think I watched.
And they
first,
have the plant.
I watched the first episode of it. I never watched more.
Yeah, it was really good because they've also got a movie as well about it, and it's really good, which follows on from it. But yeah, Kingdom's really good. They basically this flower, it makes people come back to life, but they don't realize it's not really the flower. It's these little bugs that are on the flower that's bringing people back to life. And some people who get bitten turn into these weird zombies because they've basically got parasites in them, and then if you throw them in the water, all these parasites drown, and they can come back, but they don't realize that till later. It's really good.
I love Korean, but it's so strange to me when people watch something in a different language, but they watch it with English dubbed. How gross is that?
Can't do that.
No, you have to watch it with subtitles. I watch English things with subtitles.
My algorithm on my Netflix is so overrun with Korean shows. I can't find any English stuff on it because it's just got all these Korean shows. Maybe some Chinese and Japanese stuff as well because I like anime. But yeah, like no.
Have you been to Korea?
Yeah. After Egypt, I went to Korea.
Is it very similar to Japan? but more westernized-ish.
No, not in that sense. I found in Japan there's lots of variety, and when you go to places there's all these different scenes. But I found in Korea everything was the same. Like they had like all these coffee places, all these fried chicken places, and all these barbecues everywhere. That's it.
What would you say is your favourite place you've gone?
I really liked Egypt mainly because it was a bucket list since I was a child.
Did you see the pyramids? They're really close to the main city, eh?
I didn't know that. And I didn't know that the Sphinx was right there.
Is it?
In front of it.
What do you mean, in front of it?
So like when we first entered, there's the Sphinx. Behind it are the pyramids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're so
I thought
close.
they would have been like
Well, I thought they were
spaced out.
separate areas. Yeah, but no, they're like right there in front of it. So you could take a photo and there's the Sphinx and the pyramids right behind you. And you're like,
I seen a video a picture of like them explaining how close it was, and they showed the city from like a bird's eye view, and I was like, that's so weird.
obviously, like they've built
so weird.
They've built the city up
Behind
to the
it,
pyramids.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy. And like even some of the hieroglyphs that they have that were in the stones are like quite visible in some areas where they have the tombs and stuff. And we climbed up through one of the pyramids, and it was so hot because there's no like air circulation, and it's just like solid rock. Yeah, that was terrible. Like it was hot outside, and then being inside there was so hot. But I found the like air is really polluted, and I got really like congested and sick before I competed as well. So that was really bad. So I had to walk around with a mask everywhere because I couldn't breathe.
I'd love to see the scale of the pyramid, because I don't think you understand the scale unless you actually see them.
I think what the rocks or something came up to like each rock was like this high.
That's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, and like obviously
But-
they just kept stacking up and up, but like they were massive. It was huge. But
So-
you're allowed to touch them. I always thought you weren't allowed to like go near them, near the pyramids or touch them, but apparently you can.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know you're not allowed to climb them.
Oh, you're not?
I don't think you're allowed to climb them.
Oh.
Did you climb them?
It was accessible, so I did it.
I've heard Egypt's really nice. I heard it's just a bit sketchy sometimes.
Yeah, because the
government's
they
really
make...
on you with like filming the city and stuff.
Oh, the city? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't go into the city. We did buy some like I don't know, touristy things, and what they do is they hand you a bag. Like, here, just hold this bag.
And then they charge you for it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you just don't look at them, don't even talk to them. And they're just always harassing, and like the standard like keep your stuff close to you sort of thing. But besides that, like it was fun. It was good. It's sort of what you expected. That was one of my favorites purely because of it being a bucket list. And then Rome for a holiday. We went to Rome and saw the Colosseum as well. So that was
That
also,
would have been cool.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a lot smaller than you'd think.
It's still
massive.
Still fucking huge, yeah. Like, I don't know how small anyone thinks a Colosseum is, but it's pretty big.
It's so fucking cool to think that people like fought to the death down there, like when you're in there.
Yeah, and they have like a history behind it. Like obviously it didn't get used for like a long time, and then like people just used to just squat in there.
It's the
Yeah.
original octagon.
Pretty much. And when they had the Olympics in Rome, we got to like I have a friend in Italy, and he came to meet us, and he took us like around to see a lot of like the monuments and stuff, and we saw where they held the wrestling in the Olympics in this big like building which was like in ruins. It was in ruins at the time as well, but where they held it was so cool.
When I was in Greece last, I went to an original wrestling site.
Yeah, when we were in Pompeii, we walked past where they had their wrestling and weightlifting training room.
It was crazy. I remember I went on a tour, and it was fucking old. Like, it was just stone, and they had like still remains of where the wrestlers would go afterwards and bath.
Yeah.
And it was fucking huge. It was like 10 times the size of this
Yeah.
shed, and there must have been just hundreds of people just all bathing after wrestling trainings.
Yeah, that would have been so cool.
It was sick.
Yeah, it's over 6,000 years old, wrestling.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not one of the oldest sports in the world. One of. It has to be.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Olympics built on just wrestling?
No, wrestling, athletics, and weightlifting,
Yeah.
I think. Because I think even back in the old days, there's like one person who did two different sports, weightlifting and wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, They could do that, but I think weightlifting was like these big balls with like a bar, and
Stone.
you just had to pick it up above your head or something. I don't know the details, but yeah, like the Olympics aren't very old either.
Have you done Japan as a holiday before, or just mainly for the training?
Just training. I first went there when they held their first women's camp back in 2018 before the Gold Coast Games. I trained there, and obviously we had the time to explore. And then I went back again. I don't know, 2 years ago.
I've
train and compete and
such a fucking love for that country.
Oh, it's so cool. I love it. And then I went back again last year. Yeah.
It's just the food.
Yeah.
I just love the food.
Yeah, my favourite, they have this jelly, and it's really delicious.
Jelly.
They have this grape jelly. It's so yummy.
Grape jelly. Grape anything in Japan is so nice.
And their frozen peach balls that they have.
At the 7-Elevens.
Sorbet, yeah.
They got these little grape ones as well at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I can find them.
And you can get soda water, and you put them in the soda water.
Yeah.
That's the go-to move.
Oh, and their egg sandwiches.
Just the 7, I could fucking live
I love
there.
7-Eleven. It's so
7-Eleven's
good. Yeah.
just bullshit good. I'm so happy I don't live in Japan because I would be 10 times the size.
Yeah, but like their anime stuff as well, like their Shonen Jump or something, they're like big magazine of like anime. It's like $3.
And those little, like, you can go and get those little, like, almost, you put like $1 in and you fucking spin it and you get like a little toy, like a little anime toy.
Yeah, oh, those are cool. Especially the Dragon Ball Z ones. I love collecting those. They're sick.
Where else is on your bucket list now? To just pure holiday.
I would like to do Christmas in Lapland in Finland.
I have a friend who's done that.
Yeah, I want to do that.
He did the Arctic Circle.
Oh, really? That'd be cool.
He said it's actually like pretty accessible. It's like hard to get there, but it's not as like remote as you would think.
Well, I think it's getting like a lot of places are getting easier to get to anyway.
Yeah.
And I'd want to do. I still haven't done it. Like I want to see the northern and southern lights and stuff. Like they're a bucket list. It doesn't really matter where I am as long as I get to see them.
Can you see them from Australia?
Probably.
The Southern Lights, I believe.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle of the guts.
I'd like to accidentally just be somewhere and they're there. Sort of thing. I don't really want to like sort them out.
Surely in New Zealand you'd be able to see them.
Yeah, Queenstown.
Yeah?
Yeah.
South Island's like not inhabitable much, is it?
What do you mean?
In the South Island, is it South or which one's the more rural one? South or North Island?
I think South.
South.
I think so.
I was watching a doco on like New Zealand, the landscape of it, and apparently South Island's like really harsh terrain.
It was easy. I grew up there. It was
really?
fine.
You grew up in
I think
South?
it's more plain. Like there's lots of plains in the South Island and lakes and stuff.
Yeah.
And we do have the Southern Alps for like skiing and stuff. And we got glaciers and stuff, like random things. Gets colder further down south.
Always wanted to go to New Zealand.
Yeah, it's really cool. And like the further you go up north, like the hotter it gets and stuff.
How far is it by plane?
4 hours away.
Is that all?
Yeah.
It's the fucking same as Perth.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it costs the same to
Really?
get there, yeah. I think they're doing specials at the moment. If you're flying out of Melbourne, like one way or something, it's like $300.
You need a passport to go there, obviously.
Yes. It's a different country.
Yeah, I don't know if there's some sort of agreement. I
I did. I remember hearing something about it like a decade ago that they're going to like make it like domestic.
It would make sense if they did because it's like...
Not really, because I
same.
mean, if you do have a lot of immigrants... Like we don't want, like I guess there's like certain precautions we have to take for certain countries, and if it makes it domestic, that means that anyone can go with any sort of background.
Is it true about the pies?
What about them?
I've heard the pies are better.
It depends. We've got one place that I really liked. It's before Springfield, so we have a place called Springfield, and they have this massive like donut, like the Simpsons donut. And near there, they have like all these like weird different pies and stuff, and they're really tasty because they always put cheese and stuff on top of like the pies, and they're always like real buttery, real yummy.
Did you grow up like real traditional, Mary?
No.
No?
No. South Island isn't as Māori dominated as the North Island. And my mum is Māori, but my dad is a New Zealand Kiwi. So we just grew up how everyone grew up in the South Island.
Did your mum have the...
No.
No?
No.
No, none of that?
No. Like I don't dislike it, but it's not something that we would get in our family.
There's an MMA fighter now that's coming up. I can't remember his name. He lost his Contender Series bout, but I think they might be giving him another chance. He's got his fucking full face.
Yeah, Tamil corners.
Yeah.
Some people suit it. I just don't think I would suit anything like that.
It's really like prevalent over there, isn't it? Like it's not looked at as like a face tattoo. It's cultural.
Yeah, because it tells the story, and sometimes it tells like your whakapapa, which is like your family history and stuff like that. That's what a lot of those tattoos do tell.
Can you speak?
No, only a little bit, like what I learned in school, but I wasn't very good at school, so I hated school. Mm-hmm. I only did it for sport. It was good.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go. The food looks nice in New Zealand. Lots of
pretty
seafood.
Standard to
Similar, but lots of fresh seafoods.
Yeah. I think the food is similar to like here. Not much different. Obviously we have our certain dishes that we have. I did find the meat was cheaper there, like beef and stuff.
Is it cheaper in general in New Zealand?
I don't know in general, but when I was in Auckland recently, last year in November, I found it was cheaper. Yeah. It looked different too, like more red as well.
Yeah. I imagine it'll just the grazing land and shit over there. I imagine when I imagine New Zealand in my head in person, I imagine it's very similar to Tassie.
Yeah, maybe.
Landscape wise.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been there. I do notice like even when I was in New South Wales driving around there and like all the bush and stuff was similar to New Zealand to me. And in Queenstown, Queensland. Oh, Queensland? Yeah, Queensland. And their forestry areas sort of thing, like similar. Just greenery.
I used to live in New South Wales. I fucking hated it. I hated it so much. I hated it.
Why?
Oh, it's just the people are so different to Adelaide. And it's just so, like, it's a mission just to go anywhere.
Yeah, I established that. It was terrible driving around there.
Just to go.
Their train system is a lot.
Yeah, their
really
public
good.
transport system is way better. But if you're going to go, there's like, the city's just fucking so daunting.
Yeah.
And just driving to the shops is like, oh, it's close. It's only 45 minutes away.
No.
I don't even go to Marion because it's too far.
Yeah. I think I go to the club.
Where is it?
7 minutes away from me.
Oh, really?
No, but from here, from you, it'll be like 3 minutes.
Where is it? Oh, it's on. Is it Flaxmill? Like near Flaxmill Road?
Yeah, around there, Brodie Road. So in between Flaxmill and Doctors Road.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah.
And do you have many members?
65, I think, in total.
Really?
Yeah, with kids and stuff. Not many.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, it is for us. Yeah, it is
Active competitors?
We've sort of forced the kids to wrestle in like the States and stuff, but we might just have like maybe 8 or 9 that compete to a national level, and we've got about 2 that do international.
Very good.
Not including myself. Yeah. But we do have the I think our referee, so South Australian referee, is the best that we have in the Southern Hemisphere. Yeah.
Well, I won't keep you too long, but if you do retire, congratulations on an excellent career. And if you don't, we look forward to seeing you again. Well done. Everyone's proud of you. It was awesome seeing you on the TV. Hopefully it's not the last time we see you doing cool shit.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Tay.